try to stay positive, but it's hard sometimes, dude. You get depressed and can't stop dwelling on shit. That's not true. I post a lot of videos that have nothing to do with money. The ones you see or come on your For You page, that might be what it be because that's the only thing you engage with. And so that's what you're going to see. But if you go look at my page, bro, I have plenty of videos that have nothing to do with me asking for help. The last couple of days, yeah, I haven't made very many videos at all. Maybe a few, and they were trying to get help because that's, like the other day, I was trying to get some help with gas, and just because I ask for help doesn't mean I always get it every time either. People think that if I make a video saying, hey, I'm trying to come up with $50, that just because I made that video, I got that money. Like, that's not, that's not how it works. Like, I hope sometimes that it happens that way, but I'm working on doing getting starting DoorDash, but I got to get everything with the car straight because you have to be like I have to have the title in my name with my insurance and all that kind of stuff, like to do that stuff. But I was trying to look for a job at like I've been trying. I put in a couple applications at like just regular, not through like DoorDash or something, just at a restaurant delivering stuff, something like that I can do at night, or maybe even some days whenever we don't have much going on at work. Like, I really am trying, man. It's just fucking hard, bro. Guess we'll cross that bridge when you get there. Like, dude, I don't get you act like I make a living off of asking for help on TikTok. Like, I don't. Like, I barely get help on here. Just like I said a minute ago, just because I ask for it or ask for help doesn't mean I always get it all the time. It doesn't work like that, man. Like, I get lucky sometimes and somebody will send me like $25 or something like that. Like, it's not fucking crazy. Like, I'm on here making hundreds of dollars every day and shit like y'all think. It's like nowhere near like that. There is a plasma place in Myrtle Beach. I haven't looked into it yet because I don't have a physical ID. I have to go to the DMV and get that. But I was planning on doing that this week, probably Friday or something, as long as they're open. Hey, Cass, how you doing? Well, like, I'm not trying to, I don't know, dude. Like, I just wanted to try to see if I could come up with a few bucks, dude. Nothing. I'm not trying to make a killing or anything crazy. Just. And then But what's other than that? What's everybody up to these days, man? What are y'all doing for Christmas? Shit like that. I mean, Matthew, really anything, bro. Like, I just want to have something when I go see my son tomorrow. Doesn't have to be nothing crazy. Like, I could get him a little gift card for for whatever that shit is that on Xbox. I can't even think of. Give him a little gift card so he can get I mean, if you're for real, I can most likely pay you back on Roblox. I can most likely pay you back on Friday if you really want to do that, man. That would be great. And I'll pay you back an extra 10, no problem. But yeah, man, if you're for real. 13. He'd be 14 in like a month. He's a really smart kid too, man. Like, I know everybody says that about their kid, but like, he freaks me out sometimes with some of the shit that he knows. Like, he'll be like, "Did you know?" Blah 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 blah. Like, it's crazy. Because my son lives with my mom. When I was young, when he was a baby, I was pretty crazy and was getting locked up all the time and going to prison and all kinds of stuff. So I gave custody to my mom. It was supposed to be temporary. And then in like 2017, 2018, I had like gotten my shit together and I was doing really good. And I was going to try to get him back. But I just felt like, I mean, at that point, I felt like that would be not fair to him, kind of, if you know what I'm saying, because he was like living with me and living, like, I don't know, he had been with his mom, with my mom, for his basically since he was like 10 months old. And at the time, after I had gotten out of prison and like, a little bit of time went by, he was 5 or 6 years old, something like that. And it just didn't seem right. And, I stopped the court stuff and just made an agreement with my mom. And at that time, I would get him for like a week. My mom, he would like switch him back and forth, But, yeah. Yeah, he still has an Xbox. That's his favorite thing to do. That and go on his computer. He goes on his computer and looks at like, just reads all kinds of shit, dude. It's crazy. Yeah, and I mean, it's just, he was used to that. And, I don't know. Maybe my life would have been different had I did get custody back. Because not too long after deciding that, is when I ended up relapsing again. Not too long after that at all, like months. His mom is, right now, I think she's in jail. She is just got severely bad mental stuff going on. She's paranoid, schizophrenic, and some other kind of things she's got, and she's just gone, dude. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, and back then it was definitely the best place for him to be, because like I was doing a lot of illegal things, and like, it It was definitely best for him. I can honestly say he's had a better life being with my mom. Like I don't know, but that's just the truth. Well, I try to be open about my past and shit like that, and everybody just thinks that I'm a terrible person, but it is what it is, man. But what happened to that one dude? Yeah, it's hard, and we're cool. Um, Before I moved to Ohio, I was living with my mom at the time because I had just got over being with my sickness and everything, with my amputation and all that, and that's where I was staying with her, and I was paying rent there, of course, and stuff like that. And me and her got to be close again because we were close as hell growing up. And then when I started doing dumb shit, like she didn't like disown me or anything, but she just sort of kind of stepped back. And we weren't as close because of me being, in active addiction and in jail all the time and all that stuff. But now in the last 5 years or whatever, we're cool. We're good. Yeah, my left leg's amputation. And it's hard for me to work, and people think that it's not. It's just like having a normal leg. But like I used to love, man, going out and really working, really getting in there and working hard, man. But it's just sometimes you have things that physically keep you from doing the same shit you used to do. Just like I can't run up and down a basketball court and dunk anymore. I can't do a lot of the physical activities I used to be able to do. I had a heart infection. I had 2 open heart surgeries too. And well, I hope you get feeling better. April, have a wonderful holiday as well. I had the open heart surgery and it went wrong, I guess you could say. And the infection, thank you, Adam. The infection moved down to my left leg or to my left foot. And it started, I appreciate you, brother. And it started at my base of my foot. And it was just an excruciating pain. And I thought it was because I was homeless and I was like walking so much that like stopping the walking all of a sudden, like I was just having like pains, you know what I'm saying? Like just normal pains. So I just kept putting it off. And then finally one day, like I couldn't put pressure on it anymore, couldn't walk anymore. And I was like, holy shit, dude, like something's really wrong. And it wasn't a blood clot. It was the infection that was built up on my heart valve. When the doctor did the surgery, that was supposed to all be like suctioned out safely, but he allowed it somehow got into my bloodstream and traveled down. So it basically just started eating my foot, like I get to the hospital and they're like, now I lived in South Carolina at the time too, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't get very cold here. It's like the coldest it's ever. Appreciate you, Jeff. It's the coldest it ever gets here, like right now. Like, and it's like 30s in the daytime, high 30s in the day, maybe 20s in the overnights or whatever. But it never gets much colder than that. And it had been sort of cold, but not crazy cold. And they're like, "Did you maybe step in water and somehow get what's that shit called, man? Frostbite or something?" And I'm like, I don't believe so. I don't think that could happen, And so they're like trying to warm it up because it was cold to the touch, and they thought it was hypothermia or not hypothermia, frostbite or whatever. So they're like trying to warm it up with these heated blankets and all this shit. And like, no, it wasn't gangrene. No. It was just an infection. Basically what happened was when the infection moved down there, it stopped circulation to my foot. So there was no more blood circulating throughout my body down to my feet and back up. It just killed off the circulation. So the blood wasn't moving properly. So basically it slowly just stopped. And at first they could get a pulse like down on the side of your ankle, like the inside of your ankle. If you feel right there, you can find a pulse. Sometimes it's hard to do it by hand, but with the machines that they have, it's pretty easy to find the pulse. And slowly they started getting to where they couldn't find the pulse anymore. And then they came to the conclusion after like 3 days that they weren't going to be able to save it. So they came in. Yeah, my heart's, it's somewhat okay. I have congestive heart failure, but at the same time, my heart's okay. It's hard to explain. Like, as long as I take my medication, I'll be fine. But damn, I can't remember what I was saying now. They come in and have like a end of life conversation with me. They're like, hate to do this, and this is a tough conversation to have, blah 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 blah, but you need to start preparing for end of life and things like that. And I'm like, what? Like, are you serious? They're like, yeah, we have to do this amputation immediately, or it could spread to the rest of your body, and then you could, DIE from sepsis. Kind of, sort of, it was. My leg thing wasn't from using. My heart problem, the original, was from using. But the infection, the shit that happened with my leg, was because the doctor didn't do the right thing. He didn't do my surgery properly. He didn't do the surgery properly. That's why that shit happened to my leg. So indirectly, yes, it was from that, but not directly resulted from it. You get what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. So yeah, basically, it was pretty scary, man. Yeah, I still have a lawsuit. Hopefully that shit. I mean, it's been 3 years, and I'm gonna go see my lawyer. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go see my lawyer after the holidays and stuff, and talk to him face to face. But yeah, after that happened, and I had the amputation, I recovered for a while. First in a hospital for a little bit, and then they moved me to a nursing home. No, I'm not. I've been homeless in a long time, but don't know what that means. But anyways, yeah, I was at this nursing home finishing up my antibiotics for the because they wanted to just make sure that the infection was completely 100% like gone and no way of coming back. So they put me on like a 30-day regime or however you say it, regimen of antibiotics. And so yeah, I do. So I did the no, I live in an apartment right now. Let's see. So I did those antibiotics. I got done there, and then I came back to live with my mom because she was going to help me, with my recovery from everything. And one day, like 3 or 4 days after getting back to her house, me and my son, the one I'm talking about right now, me and him were watching the new Jurassic Park movie. And at the time, it had just come out. It was the one with Chris Pratt, and I think it came out in 2021 sometime. We were sitting on the couch watching that shit, and then all of a sudden, I got up to go to the bathroom, and I hit my vape. And then when I was I was in my wheelchair. I wasn't even using my prosthetic leg to walk yet. I get back in the wheelchair and start going back towards the couch, and all of a sudden, I couldn't breathe. And I'm like struggling to catch my breath, and I was like, what the fuck is going on, So like, I get down onto the couch, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, and it was like equivalent to like, take your fist and ball it up, and then try to breathe through it. Like, try to do that, like ball up a tight fist and try to breathe through it. That's how hard, that's like what it was like for me to breathe. And so I'm like freaking out. And my son at the time is like 10, because this is 3 years ago. Yeah, so he was like 10 years old, and he looks over at me. He's like, "Dad, are you okay?" And I was like, and I'm just shaking my head at him like, I don't know. And so he freaks out. He runs upstairs to get my mom. And by this time, I'm like really kind of panicking and shit because I couldn't breathe at all. And I'm laid back on the couch. And my mom comes in and she's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I was like, I don't know. Okay, I can't breathe. She's like, "Call 911." And I'm like, "No, don't call 911." I was traumatized. I still am traumatized by the hospital and shit like that because of all the craziness that happened for all that time I was in there, losing my leg and all the surgeries and procedures and all that shit's just a nightmare to me. So like, I didn't want her to call 911. Finally, she was just like, "You know what? Screw that. I'm calling 911." Not finally. It took her literally like 30 seconds to decide she wasn't going to listen to me and she was going to call. So she calls the there was like a little substation like right down the street from our house where they had like fire trucks and ambulances and shit. So they were really close. They came and got me within like 5 minutes. They were there. They put me on a breathing thing, and I'm like breathing better. It's easier for me to breathe. They get me to the hospital, and they think that I have a blood clot in my lung. It's called a pulmonary embolism, which those are very dangerous. That's what they thought I had. So they do this procedure to remove this blood clot from my lung, and come to find out, it was the old heart valve or the new heart valve that replaced my old heart valve that had been destroyed. It was the prosthetic valve made out of some kind of like silicone, kind of the same shit that this ring's made out of. It's like a surgical grade, like silicone kind of deal. And it came off my heart, disconnected, and got stuck in my lung. So that's why I couldn't breathe. And so they get that out of there. And that's when they realize, well, at first, for a little while, they didn't even do nothing. I just had my heart working at like 15% because my main valve wasn't working. So my heart was like very low functioning, like scary low functioning. And like, this is the time where they like told my mom and my family and shit that like there wasn't really much they could do. None of the doctors were going to do the surgery because it's too high risk and all this shit like that. And so they ended up kind of like putting me on hospice. They were like, "We'll just keep him comfortable, you know?" And they were like pumping me full of like Dilaudid and all kinds of stuff and like trying to keep me comfortable. And then one day this doctor comes in. His name was Stafford Ziegler from MUSC, Charleston, South Carolina. I'll never forget this dude. He was like the same age as me. At the time, I was like 30 or 30. I was like 30 or 31. And he was like, "Dude, I can't just sit here and not do anything and let you pass away." You know, he was like, "If you're cool with me doing the surgery, I'll take the risk and do the surgery, because if we don't do it, you have 0% chance of living. And it won't take long. Like, you'll be gone very quickly. If we do it, at least you have a chance." So I'm like, "Let's do it," you know? And the next day, or I believe, they did the second surgery. And like, I remember, dude, like I really thought that I wasn't going to wake up from the surgery. I like did this whole long ass post on Facebook. I didn't know anything about TikTok then. I did like a long post on Facebook and was like telling everybody, you know, goodbye, basically, you know, like it's fucking crazy. And then I remember waking up and just looking, and there was like two nurses. And the one nurse, this is no bullshit, I'm not lying to you. One nurse's name was Sherry and one name was Jenna. And that's my mom's name and my sister's name. My mom's Sherry and my sister's Jenna. And because when I first woke up, I was like, "Who are you guys?" And the one, she was like, "I'm your nurse, Sherry." And the other one, she was like, "And this is your other nurse, Jenna." And I'm like, "The fuck, my mom and my sister?" You know, I'm like confused. Like, why do they have the same name as my mom and my sister? Like, this is weird as fuck, you know? Like, and I thought I was not alive. I was like, am I alive? Did I wake up from the surgery, or am I dreaming right now? And she's like, "No, you're alive. You made it. You made it through. You did really good. Blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Well, why do y'all got the same name as my mom and my sister?" And then they started laughing and said that my mom and my sister actually had talked to them about that before, while I was in my surgery, like while I was in recovery before waking up, and that they laughed about them having the same names and shit. And it was just really weird to wake up to that. And so like I wake up and like I immediately felt way better, like a completely different person, dude. It was so crazy. And so like I'm awake, I'm good. And they were monitoring me. Hello, Lisa. They were monitoring me for over the next like week or 10 days, making sure I was good. They did like a ultrasound of my heart, and he said compared to like a regular somebody that never had heart problems, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference and shit. That my heart was back good again, and I wouldn't have any more problems and shit like that. And like I've been good since then. I mean, I've had a few mishaps and shit, you know what I'm saying? But nothing serious. Only cards. Man, anything, bro, would help out, bro. I mean, doesn't have to be nothing crazy. But I got a couple bucks so far. Like $20. So I don't need a whole lot more, man. Just want to get him something, you know. Trying to get some much Roblox as I could for him or something like that. I don't really know. I think he would like that. He's a hard kid to buy for because he doesn't like most shit like most kids do. Yeah, I got kicked out, man. It was some bullshit, dude. This dude that I've never really kind of clicked with him and from the beginning. He was always like a douche to me and shit like that. And one night I was on live, dude. Like I was actually literally on live. He came in my room and was like, I just got a call from somebody in Florida saying that you were on TikTok drinking. And I'm like, what? Like, no the fuck I wasn't, dude. Like, if I was gonna drink, I wouldn't do it on fucking TikTok. Like, that just sounds crazy to me. And no, I'm in an apartment. I'm renting a room for my friend. But it's cool as fuck. I got a bedroom and we got the living room here, kitchen, everything. So it's cool. I actually like this situation better than over there because it was too much like people worried too much about what everybody else was doing. You know what I mean? And so he's accusing me of drinking, and I'm like, dude, I haven't been drinking at all. Like, give me a breathalyzer was the first thing I said. And he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, why would somebody just randomly call from another state and know where you're at and all this shit? And I was like, it's hard to explain to somebody who's never been online, like who's never been like on TikTok, like how I have been to, like I used to have a few big accounts. A lot of people know me, got a lot of fucking haters and shit. It's hard to explain that to somebody who has never witnessed it or been a part of it. So I'm sitting there trying to explain him. There's just people that don't like me because of whatever reason. Maybe it's because I have asked for help, or maybe it's because of whatever reason. There's people who just don't like me. And they've told me they were going to do whatever they could do to always sabotage everything for me. I've had many messages like that. And as I'm telling him this, he's like, okay, all right, well, I don't know, man. We'll talk about it or something. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. And I got back on live and was telling everybody what was going on. And then another dude, I didn't threaten anybody. I don't do that anymore, man. I got my anger and shit like that. Try to get under control. Sometimes I get a little worked up and get pissed off and might say shit, but like not there. I never, not one time threatened or did anything towards anybody else. Not one time. Never even got into it with anybody. Like I got along with everybody. I just always had this weird feeling about this dude. He just gave me a bad vibe. And like he had like hater. He acted like a hater. He acted like he was one of those people who probably is one of those dudes online talking all this weird shit. So anyways, this other guy who's like an outreach worker, he's employed by Oxford House. He comes over. So then when he came over, I got off live and I was talking with him. And he was like, first thing I said to him was like, dude, I have not been drinking. Give me a breathalyzer test. You know, like I promise you I've not been drinking. I sat there and me and him talked for like 10 minutes. And at the end of it, he was like, well, I'm not going to give you a breathalyzer because I don't feel like you've been drinking. I'm sitting here talking to you. You don't come off as somebody who's been drinking or has something to hide. I don't know. Maybe it was just misunderstanding. He was like, don't worry about it. Just go to bed. Forget about it. So I did. Next day, I went. I got my rent money and shit, and then went to the house meeting that night. They voted me into a new position, and to give me the room that had opened up. That was a single man room, and all that during that meeting. And then at the end of the meeting, flipped the script on me and brought that shit up. And I was like, well, dude, I was completely 100% adamant about doing a breathalyzer, and y'all didn't give me one. I don't have a breathalyzer to give myself. You know what I mean? And like, so there ended up being 3 votes against me and 2 votes for me. I can't vote. If I could have voted for myself, it would have been tied. But that dude, a new guy, and then one other person. Oh, I'm not letting it stop me at all. Don't. I'm still gonna keep trying to do my best in everything. I'm not gonna be drinking and doing dumb shit. Like it didn't change how I'm seeing things. I still got the same head on my shoulders and shit like that. I just feel like maybe it wasn't meant to be there, and I was supposed to be here for some reason. But I'm just going with the punches. It's all good. Like, I'm not tripping about it. Misunderstanding. I made a video. If you want to go, I just explained the whole thing. But I made a video about it probably about a week ago. I appreciate that, man. I should look healthier. I've been eating a lot healthier, and no alcohol and shit like that. I mean, after a while, it takes a little minute to get your color back and stuff. I've learned months, but my Sublocade shot's been doing great. Like, I don't have any kind of cravings or any kind of withdrawal symptoms or nothing. Like, that's going good for me. So yeah. But stop and think of what got me to where I am. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to maybe get him like a Roblox card or something, and maybe like, I don't know. I'd be cool with just doing that. If anybody wants to help out, I'd really appreciate it, bro. And I'm hoping here in the next couple weeks, man, work really picks up good, and I can start working on getting back ahead. Because it sucks, just making enough to. Well, I mean, I'm grateful to be able to like pay my little bit of rent and stuff like that, and most nights I have enough money to get food and shit. Like, there'll be nights where I'm not sure how to eat and stuff, but for the most part, I'm able to cover those things, and that's at least good. Because if I couldn't do that, then I'd really be up shit creek. At least I got a roof, But I don't know, man. Fucking Christmas snuck up on me, dude. So quick, it's crazy. Thank you, Smiley. I actually have put in an application for EBT. I'm hoping that I can get some for the time being. But I just feel like by the time I get it, I'm gonna not qualify anymore. That's what happened last time when I applied for it in Indiana. It took like a few weeks, and by the time I got it, I got 1 month, and then I had to report my earnings for the following month. And when I reported my earnings for the next month, like they gave me emergency food stamps or whatever. So they were like, "We'll give it to you now, but by a certain date, you have to have all your paperwork and stuff in to continue getting it after this 1 month." And I had started my job and was making too much, but I don't know. I'm gonna try that. I got a couple of things I gotta do. Go to the DMV and get some shit situated and stuff with that, and I wish it was easier to DoorDash. I wish you could just fucking sign up for it and they didn't have to, and they just check to make sure you had a driver's license or something. Like, I wish you didn't have to have certain things a certain way. Yeah, and it's got to be in. When I tried to apply for DoorDash last time, the car and the insurance and shit has to match the same name and stuff like that. Like, you have to drive your own car in your own name and stuff. And I don't have the title yet, but I'm working on doing that. I'll get it figured out. I mean, I can just get through the next couple weeks. My fucking landscaping is gonna pick back up. Like, that's how it is here. Am I what? Am I back in these? What does that mean? Huh? Yeah, probably. No, I like the Ohio weather. I like Ohio weather better. I like the cold, man. I like it cold. Why don't you get to work? Hello, how are you? Nah, it's been pretty cold. Hello, Renee. Hopefully I said that right. Or Renee, yeah. It's been pretty cold in South Carolina. Like, for South Carolina, it's been cold as hell, yeah. Nothing, just stressing, like always. I ain't been since '70s here. Hello. When it comes to 1-year-old Warren, Joshua, you are the father. No, not yet. I wish. Yeah, it was so weird because they were just fighting about. That was weird. Today until about 2:00. You said no. The lie detector determined you're telling the truth. I don't know if it's still on or if it's reruns. I saw them on a couple of TikTokers on there. I saw Lil Nas X on this show. I do landscaping, and like other little stuff too. And I'm renting a room in an apartment from one of my friends. Yeah, Lil Nas X, dude. You did? That's crazy. Episode 4 of season 3. What year was that in? Sounds like a long time ago. Let's really talk about the tattoo, boy. You were out of control, right? We choose Walden University so we can focus on what truly matters. And we do it on our time. Hell yeah. Damn, 2000? Shit. I was only 11 or 12, depending on what month it was. Steve Wilkos pays you. They pay you whatever you like, whatever you make. Like, they compensate you for missing work and shit. Yeah. Steve Wilkos pays you like $200 a day for missing work or some shit like that. Hell yeah. You do? That's what's up. I love Steve Wilkos. What does that mean? Poor at shows. I'm not sure what that means. Because I was about to go on Steve Wilkos. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I was about to go on there. Nothing, dude. I'm just fucking stressed out about a couple of things. Pays $30. No, I wouldn't have been the father. And I didn't find that shit out until court in front of all kind of people, bro. That shit was so embarrassing. I'm just stressed out about fucking Christmas and shit, man. Supposed to go to my mom's tomorrow, and I want to fucking. I got my son and my stepdaughter over there. I want to be, and I've just been not making a whole lot, just being able to pay rent and shit, and I'm just fucking stressed about money. I'm always stressed about money. But I'm doing alright, Amy, other than normal shit. Yeah, but it just makes me feel some type of way. Yeah, man, I was in court. And found out that shit, dude. I was like, what? Oh, damn. What part of Ohio are you in? Down in Cincinnati, Toledo. That's what's up. Yeah, Ohio's pretty crazy. I like Ohio, man. But yeah, you guys, if anybody wants to help me out, I'd appreciate it. Sorry, I know it's Christmas and shit, dude. I understand if you can't. You really never know. BeReady.tv will help you be prepared. Be prepared to evacuate or to shelter in place before it's too late. What story? BeReady.tv and get what you and your loved ones need to be prepared while supplies last. My name is Dolores Garcia. I went into pizzeria, and next thing I know, I'm on the ground. So I ended up going to the emergency room. The very next day, Morgan & Morgan took charge. They were able to get me. Oh, well, it's your comment said tell us the story. So I thought you were talking about a specific thing. It was life-changing. Anybody I come across, I'll stop. Hey, do you need a lawyer? Call Morgan & Morgan. The truth is easy. Yeah, that's messed up, dude. I hate shit like that. I don't like this time of year at all anymore. Makes me depressed. ABC 15 News is tracking Santa. All day on Christmas Eve, ABC 15 News will be tracking Um, trying to think.
On January 18th, encounter an unforgettable evening at Ripley's Aquarium for the Adaptive Surf Project. Let the sea set you free.
Man.
By ABC 15's Ed Kintrowski and Jennifer Apney. Enjoy a private aquarium experience while helping raise money and awareness for a cause that's changing lives.
Yeah, and I know what you mean by that. I mean, it just certain shit changes it. You know what I mean? But all right, I'll tell you something that just happened the other night. So, I was going to. I don't know if y'all remember. The other night, somebody helped me get pizza, right? So, I'm going out to go pick the pizza up, and I get to the place, and when I go inside, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here to pick up my pizza," and they're like looking for it, and they're like, "We don't have that order," and I'm like, "Well, I called to order it, and was gonna pay cash whenever I picked it up." They're like, "Oh, I'm not sure. We must have lost the ticket or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, well, can I reorder it and just wait?" They're like, "Sure." So I order it, pay for it, and then I sat there for like 20, 30 minutes waiting for it to get done. So finally it's done. I get the pizza, go to the car, put the pizza down on the passenger seat, and I was starving. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't eaten in like a day and a half at that point. I do that sometimes. Like, I won't have an appetite for like days, and then finally I just get hungry as shit all of a sudden, like right now. So I get my pizza, and then I was like, fuck it, I want to eat a piece, right? So I open it, and I go to take a piece out, and it's hot as shit. So I'm like, damn. And I wait a second, and I sat in the parking spot for maybe about like 5 minutes. And then I got my piece of pizza out, and I blew on it, and I bit it, and it was fine. It was good. So I'm going to pull out the parking lot of this grocery store where the pizza place is at, and I had put my little bit off slice back in the box, and I get to the stop sign to pull out onto the highway. And when you pull out onto the highway, there's like a little median, like where you can get some speed and get over and stuff. And when I pull out onto the median, this truck was like coming from the other way in the same median, which he wasn't supposed to be doing. Because technically I was turning into a turning lane, and he was coming. He was basically, it's hard to explain, but he was not supposed to be in that lane coming straight at me. So he almost hits me. Like, I have to like skirt off the road and like went into the little grass and shit. And there's like a ditch over there. Almost went into the ditch. And then I pull off, get back in the road, and he had went and turned around. And when I got out the grass and pulled back in, I was behind him. So I'm right behind this motherfucker, and I'm like beeping my horn and flashing the light at him. I was pissed because he almost made me waste my pizza all over the floor. And, you know, like, I was just mad because he cut me off and almost hit me and stuff. So I'm like beeping the horn and acting fucking like a maniac. And this dude, I guess, got scared because he like pulls off, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, whatever. So I continue my way to the house, and right when I'm getting ready, damn it, hold on. What? Right when I'm getting ready to turn into my neighborhood, I get pulled over, bro. Blue lights, fucking, I'm getting pulled over. And like, no lie when I tell you they swarmed me, dude. Like, there was cops in front of me and behind me and shit. Got me boxed in on the road. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, turn the car off and put your hands out the window and slowly open the door. And I'm like, you guys, like, what is going on here? I think you guys pulled over I think you got the wrong person. Like, I don't know what's going on. And I reach out, I open the door. They came up and they like throw me in handcuffs and shit, and I'm still not being told what's going on. And finally, the cop was like, "Where's the weapon?" And I'm like, "Weapon?" He's like, "Yeah, we had a call saying that you had a road rage incident and that you pulled a GUN on the guy and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Dude, no." I was like, "He almost crashed me into the woods." I did get upset, and I was behind him and I was flashing my lights at him and shit like that. But when he pulled off into whatever neighborhood, I just kept going. I didn't follow behind him or chase him down or nothing crazy like that. So I was like, yeah, that did not happen. And apparently there was somebody who witnessed what actually happened coming by whenever I was pulled over. And they stopped and like told the cops and shit, "Hey, we saw what was happening," and because they saw like me surrounded by all these cops and then me in cuffs and they got their things drawn on me. So I guess the person was concerned, like, I wonder why they got this guy pulled over like this. And they told the cops that like I didn't even do anything. I did get behind them and beep the horn and stuff like that, but they were the ones who were in the wrong lane and almost crashed me into the woods. And so I guess they took that person's word for saying that, you know what I mean? And then my story, and then I let them search the car. There was obviously nothing in there except for a pizza. And so yeah, they ended up letting me go. But it was fucking scary, dude. Like I was terrified because in my mind, that shit I didn't think of that. I wasn't thinking like, oh, they're probably pulling me over and acting like this because of the dude cutting me off and stuff like that. That didn't cross my mind one time, like at all, because it wasn't that serious. And I couldn't figure out what could possibly be going on. I was like thinking maybe something had been done in that car before I started driving it. Like I didn't fucking know. But yeah, it all got worked out. It's all good. But that was the only story I could think to tell. I don't know if that made anybody laugh or not, but I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, dude, you would have thought they finally found America's Most Wanted or something. But yeah, it's all good. Oh, man. But yeah, you guys, I hate to fucking say it. I just put it out there. I ain't trying to come up with a couple more bucks towards something for Christmas for my son, and I just want to get him a gift card, I guess. And I got 20 so far. I'm gonna have to get off here soon. Hey, thanks for telling everybody welcome in. That's pretty cool. What am I hearing? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Bella. Second, Bella. Second, Bella. Have I ever seen have I ever seen somebody get KNIFE in prison? Yeah. Not like I didn't actually see the whole thing like up close and personal, but I've definitely seen the aftermath of a shanking a couple of times. Where one time the dude came stumbling out falling out the bathroom, just holding his stomach and his chest and shit. And then saw a couple that were similar to that. But the craziest thing I ever saw was I don't battle this because I don't know. The craziest thing I probably ever saw in prison was one time there was this kid and he used to get money. Back then there wasn't nowadays prisoners use Cash App and stuff like that. When I was locked up they didn't have that. There was no such thing. So people use what are called green dots. And it's basically like a reloadable money card that your people can load for you. So if I wanted to buy something off of you, I could get my people to get the green dot from the grocery store or from the pharmacy or wherever, and then I already blocked her. Don't worry about it, Bella. Then you would get the numbers off of it, and then I would give those numbers to whoever I'm buying something from, and then they give the numbers to their people, and their people add the money to the card. So it was a lot more work than what it is for them today. But anyways, this kid would get 3 times a week. He would get $50, on green dots. So dude was always getting stuff from his people. So what a lot of them dudes will do is they'll see somebody who is sort of a target or weak, appears to be weak or whatever. They'll see that type of person and be like, okay, well, I'm going to make sure that every time he gets one of them green dots, he's spending it with me. So they basically will extort you into spending your money or whatever with them. So the guy goes to this young kid and he's like, yeah, man. He basically forced him to take stuff that he couldn't pay for right then. So whenever he did get his green dot in a day or two, then it would go straight to this guy. So he gave him some tobacco and some K2 and stuff. And then the deal was, I know tomorrow's Christmas Eve, I know. So they, the day comes where he gets the money he's supposed to pay the guy. Well, he says no. He was like, I'm not going to pay you. You forced me to take that stuff. And then everybody told me you barely gave me anything, what I should have gotten for that amount of money. So the kid was like, no, I'm not giving it to you. And I was like, oh shit, I couldn't believe he said that to this dude. And he's like, what? And the kid's like, yeah, man. He's like, I already gave it to somebody else. And the dude's like, okay, all right. And just walks away. Maybe a couple hours later, we're in the day room watching TV. And I was kind of sitting up in the front. and behind me, I just hear like a loud crack, like wow, and I turn around and look, and it's the dude beating the crap out of this kid with a lock. He actually had 2 locks. One was inside the sock, tied up, and then another one was tied onto the outside of the sock. So he had 2 locks on this fucking sock, and he's just like, bow, smashing this kid, and beat him to the point where his eyeball was protruding like out of his eye socket, like not quite hanging, but it was definitely like popped out, like bulged out, and his whole face was all fucked up. He was missing teeth and shit. That was the craziest thing I saw. Other than the riots and shit I went through, there was some crazy shit happen there. Like I saw a guard on fire and he had to run under the shower and stuff. But like, yeah, that was pretty intense seeing that lock, because I watched that happen. Like I didn't see the first hit, but when I heard it, I turned around and I watched it and I was like, holy shit. Like, and in prison, you don't get involved. Yeah, that was wild.
Is this business an electronics company? No.
Fuck, man.
Is this business a Fortune 500?
The longest time I've ever done, like, straight or, like, lockdown on, like solitary confinement type shit. Which do you mean?
Were you in Dallas in 1982? I'll never tell.
Well, in like solitary confinement type, I did about 13 months in 23 and 1 lockdown. Okay, Lindsay. I did like 13 months straight in lockup. It was 23 and 1. And
is this fictional character animated?
That's what I'm talking about right now, Lisa. About 13 months, a little bit over a year. And yeah, Bella, I did. I still, to this day, think that I have like mental stuff, like some of my mental stuff that I deal with is stemmed from that. I have PTSD. Jess used to tell me that I was institutionalized and shit. Because, I mean, I'm 36, and at one point, I had done a third of my life locked up. Like, when I first met Jess, I remember telling her, like, a third of my life. Now, it's not because I haven't been in trouble in so long. But at that point, I was, like, 31, and I had done, like, 10 years. A little bit over 10 years. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. But mine was split up into 2 prison bids and then a bunch of county bullshit. But added up all together, it's like around 10 years. Fighting. When I was younger, I used to fight a lot. Like, I was the type of dude when I was locked up where, like, I didn't take no shit. Not saying that I'm a badass or anything and that I can beat everybody. But if you're known as somebody who likes to fight and who will fight at the drop of a dime, people don't fuck with you because they want an easy pushover, an easy target. You know what I'm saying? They want somebody who's not going to give them no static, that they can just take their shit. But when people know that you fight for your shit, you're less likely to get fucked with. And I had a lot of respect from people because, you know, if shit's going down, then I'm not running, you know. 18 years, holy crap. It's a long, long time. But, like, that's what they do. They'll pick you out when you come in. And they'll test you right off the jump. They'll test you off the jump, and if you act weak or anything, then it's like, bam, they just found a new target. And like when I came in, this dude tried to press me for my brand new uniforms. Cause like when you first go down, you get like 3 used uniforms that are like for work or like whatever. And then you'll get 2 brand new, fresh, crispy, brand new out the box. Those are for like court and visits and stuff like that. So if you're somebody who's been down for a few years, you don't have your brand new uniforms anymore. You know, they've become worn and washed a bunch of times and shit. So they'll try to press new guys. And this dude came out to me, and me and him ended up being really like friends after that. But he came out as I was walking down the tunnel, they call it, to my dorm. I wasn't going to my dorm yet. We were going to we had to go sit in a barber shop, and then they called us out one at a time, and we had to do something. I can't remember what it was, but we were walking by the dorms, and I had no idea what dorm I was going to be in. But this dude was at the gate. Everybody was at the gate, and this dude was like, yeah, man. He was like, you're gonna have to run me them brand new uniforms that you got. And I look, he's like, yeah, I'm talking to you. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. And just kept walking by. And then we go and we did whatever we had to do at the barbershop. And then they brought me back. And I went in that same dorm with that dude. And as soon as I'm standing there, like putting my bag up, he walks up and he's like, I'll even make it easy for you. I'll give you my 2 old ones, but I need to get those 2 brand new uniforms. Now, like me personally, I knew I wasn't getting no visitors. And I didn't give a fuck about a brand new uniform. Like, I would have traded him probably to him if he would have been cool about it. But he tried to take it from me. And I was like, nah, dude. I was like, you're going to have to beat me if you want these uniforms. Like, you ain't getting shit from me. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he acted like he was going to do something and all this shit. But then when it came down to it, he was just like, man, yeah. He was like, you're cool. He was like, you didn't let me take your shit. I respect you for that. And I seen plenty of motherfuckers come in, but do the opposite. Just trying to be cool. Like, oh, yeah, man, I'll trade you. No problem. Here, let's trade. But at that point, you can't do that because it just shows weakness. Even if you don't care. Like, I didn't care. I would have traded him. Like, I don't give a fuck about these uniforms. It's a prison uniform. But it's the principle. If you allow them to do that, then they're going to press you every day for anything that you get. Like, I saw a dude one time, fresh on the yard, never been to prison before, probably 19, 20-year-old little white kid. And he just got there, and within like an hour or 2 of getting to the dorm, he goes out and goes to the canteen. Because like when you were a new inmate, your first day, it didn't matter if it was your dorm's day to go to the store. If you were freshly on the yard, that first day you could go if you had money and you wanted to go. So that's one of the first things he did. He went and got 2 laundry bags full of shit. He maxed out his weekly spending on one trip and he had pops, he had chips and honey buns and soups and fucking everything you could fucking imagine in these 2 bags. And somebody went up, he's got it all spread out on his bed, like fucking organizing it and shit. And these 2 young dudes, they were GDs, went up and took all of the shit. They left him like a couple packs of tuna and took all of his shit, dude. And he was like sitting on the bed with his hands in his face like this, crying about it and stuff. I felt bad for the dude. And like I wanted to get him his shit back, but I knew I couldn't. So I just told him like, dude, you only go to the store and buy a little amount at a time. And don't come back here fucking spreading it out on your bed and shit. Like, at least not till you get to know some people, you know what I mean? And he never let that happen again. I don't think he ever went to the store again. He would go and get like one thing, and that's it. Yeah, I worked a little while earlier today. We don't have a whole lot going on right now. He told me that after New Year and stuff like that, we're going to pick up a lot. So I'm looking forward to that. Nah, never had any visitors, man. I was like 4 or 5 hours away from home, and the only person who could have possibly came to visit me would have been my mom or my baby mama, my ex or whatever. and neither one of them came to see me. Only time I ever got anything was when it was my birthday. My mom would send me like $50 every year on my birthday. My dad, occasionally, he would send me like $20 or something like that. And my buddy Vinny, who I'm working with now, he helped me out a few times. Over the course of years, though, I probably only got money like 10 times. And most of those times was him sending me. He would send me like $25 at a time, but anytime I called him, really, because I tried to like hustle myself, and like I had a few hustles in there where I could keep a little bit of something, you know. I was like good at sneaking shit around the yard. So I was like the dude who, like, if you needed a bunch of canteen moved from one dorm to another, that was like what I would do. I did that type of shit. And I would just hide it on my body and just be able to be incognito and slip by and not be noticed and shit like that. So I would make money off doing that. And then also fixing shoes, you know. I know how to sew, so I would like fix people's shoes, or like if they're fucking, because we would get shorts for the rec yard, and the shorts were kind of shitty and they would rip. So I would like I fix stuff and stuff like that, like fishing. We use fishing string to fix the shoes because the soles would start falling out, and you can't just go buy a new pair. So we would repair them and shit, and I did stuff like that. But I tried to keep my own shit going. And it's easier like on a prison yard. Like you can find little hustles to get into, or even just being good at knowing people, getting to know people. I'm good at that too. Like, so I would always figure out who the best plug was, you know, and become cool with them. So then I could like get shit. I could be like a middleman and get shit for people, and then I'd be able to make money that way too. Man, I don't know, dude. Like, part of me says like, yeah, but then there's another part of me that thinks it's all a big conspiracy, and you know what I mean. But who really knows? But I mean, you got to think of if he did do what he did for the reason that they say or whatever. Like, you know how many people out there want to get their hands on those CEOs of those big companies like that and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people out there who would have done just what he did. Because like they'll literally tell somebody who's dying that, oh, we're cutting off your insurance because of this or that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like when they cut off my disability, like I should 100% be on my Social Security still right now. And my leg's not growing back. My heart's not going to reverse itself. Like, I have the same disabilities I had when I first got it. And the fact that it's being so hard for me to get it back is just fucked up. Proof he's guilty? What you mean, Sherry?
Good. Well, here's what you got to do. You've got to correctly identify a person, a place, and a thing in 60 seconds. You can guess as many times as you want, ask as many questions as you need to. You can pick the category you want to start with, and you can pass, but you got to get all three to get the money. And as always, I've got clues for you. Are you ready? I'm ready.
Yeah, there was that video.
Your person is a musical artist. Your place is a U.S. state.
Yeah.
And your thing
But dude,
is a brand.
it could be, I mean, if you think about it, it's very possible it could be an elaborate hoax. Like, they can fake, you know, they can fake that. They can make it look super real on a surveillance camera too. They make it look extremely real on a movie, you know.
Okay, we're starting with place. It is a U.S. state. Good luck to time starts.
Are you for real?
Just west of the Mississippi River.
Yes.
Clue.
It produces more apples than any other.
Yeah, they were supposed to call the the hotline or something like that, and they called 911 instead. That's fucked up.
It was started in Paris in 1909.
I thought it was
No.
I thought it was a woman that called.
Pass.
Okay. Person, musical
Is
artist.
this a current artist?
Maybe like Nancy something like that.
Yes, usually.
Have they won a Grammy?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
No.
Is this person in rock and roll?
No.
Is this person pop?
They should have still given him the 10K, man. That's messed up.
Yes.
Is this person West Coast?
No.
Is this
Got fired because of the negative publicity.
Pass.
Okay. We're back to thing.
Estee Lauder? No. L'Oreal?
Oh, it was 60? Yeah.
T-Pain.
He still should have. He should have got it, I think.
Oh, don't you win. Don't you win. Okay, first of all, if you had like 2 more seconds, you would have got him. We were looking for Eminem, and he's not really East Coast West. He's Detroit. Never gotten that. So you got 2 out of the 3. We are not going to send you home empty-handed. Jamie, tell Ashton what he has won.
Yeah.
You've got birthdays covered, anniversaries, all of it, and you get to come back because you have another chance to win $5,000 tomorrow because you are returning.
Yeah, they're going to get his ass, though.
Thank you for being today's super fan. We appreciate you so much, and you too can become a person like today's super fan. For more information, go to the website.
They were talking about him having like a fresh haircut and stuff at his court appearance, and how that correlates with him being cool with all the inmates and stuff. Guess we'll see what happens, man. They seem to have evidence, so. Oh, for real? Maybe that's what they'll do. Oh, man. I'm gonna get off of here soon.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
Trying to figure it out
Always good. Always faithful.
what I'm gonna eat.
So I brought you today Sabor Latino with my husband David.
I have 3.
Daughter-in-law Elvia and our always faithful son-in-law Jaya. Welcome to the show. David, what do you do, sir? Listening. Honored to be here.
Yeah, for now. It just got really hot in here. I don't know about that. It's... Yeah, my life was much less stressful whenever I was homeless. That's facts. Yeah, that's pretty crazy how that shit, how they do that insurance bullshit is fucked up, man. Sneaking phones in. Well, I mean, they had phones whenever I was. People had cell phones whenever I was in prison. Um, True. They Some of them come in through guards. Some of them come in. A lot of them come in through like packages. Somebody from the outside will put together. They call it a bomb. They'll put together. It'll be maybe a few cell phones, like whatever else they want. They'll tape it up real good and make it like a ball, and then throw it over the fence. That's how most shit gets in. Hello, Angelina. Happy holidays. Oh, for real? Not surprised. That dude is meta. Yeah, those were the days, man. I miss those days terribly. Nothing much. Just, stressing about Christmas and shit. Yeah, that's why I thought I was just hearing a minute ago. And she's so loud, bro. Like with her walking, it's nuts. Sounds like a damn elephant running around. Like I'm talking about like ridiculous, not just like sometimes. It's like all the time. Sounds like she's running around. No, I don't really talk to anybody. I'm not yet, at least. I wish she would cook and give me something to eat. I'm fucking hungry. I don't have anything here. I had some chicken and rice I made yesterday. Whatever happened to that kid? I love to cook. My favorite thing to cook, I like cooking like pastas, with like homemade sauce. Some kind of homemade sauce, or like I'll combine things to make my own kind of sauce. Um, yeah, he's in prison. That's crazy. Um, I like cooking chicken and rice and like vegetables. I like cooking pork chops and steak. Actually, I wish I had some pork chops right now. That sounds good. Pork chops in the crock pot are the best. Usually like 6 hours. Sometimes I'll do like the real low and cook them for like 8 hours. But I like to at least do like 6 hours. Makes them super super tender. Me too. I don't want to start talking about food because I don't have any fucking thing to eat right now, and I start dwelling on that shit, bro, and be like fiending for something good to eat. Not if you cook them low enough. You got to cook them very low temperature, and they won't be dry. Just like chicken too. You cook chicken in the crock pot. You cook chicken in the crock pot. Well, I think I'm gonna get off for a second because I gotta try to figure out some shit. But if any of y'all can send like $5 or $10, man, that'd be awesome. I got 20. I guess I'm gonna get him a little gift card, and then I like to go to the grocery store and get some food or something. But if you can, it's all good. I'll probably get back on. For real. All right, if you can do that, Bella, message me. Message me right now, and I'll get off and message you. And that's that. I would love that. That'd be perfect. But yeah, message me. I'm gonna get off. And I'll message you. Let me make sure I follow you. All right, you gotta approve the follow request, and then I'll get on, and then I'll message you. So approve the follow request, and then I'll message you. But yeah, y'all, I'll probably be back on in a little while. But I've been on for a while. I need to try to figure some shit out. But talk to you later. Thanks, y'all.